Fear is the unexpected.
Fear means to me something that is unexplainable, something that is beyond anything that I can personally feel. So I feel like in terms of, like, for example, losing my family is something that is unexplainable and I wish that could never happen to me.
I'm afraid of spiders.
Fear means to me a gush of emotions and phobias.
Fear to me is like being uncomfortable with something, so having something that you're not aware of or something surprising you, so all of a sudden, like for example, if a balloon just pops and you don't know about it, you're going to get scared. So it's fear, it's like doing something that you're not comfortable with.
What scares me is growing up, becoming an adult. I don't want to pay taxes, I don't want to die.
I'm a big fear of spiders. I hate them. Literally I run away if I see the smallest one. I also have weird fear of cranes. I always have a fear they're going to fall on me even if I see them. So that's my fears.
Fear is like kind of like an everyday thing. So things like commitment really scare me. That sounds really bad, but then it does, I swear. And smaller fears like clowns in the dark really scare me a lot. I think it's the things that you can see every day in your life are the things that bring fear.
Things that scare me in a horror film are like anything to do with like possession or like ghosts, because I feel like ghosts and anything like that are real. So anything paranormal really.
So in a horror film, possessions by demons scare me the most because like I'm religious and that's actually kind of possible.
I would be so scared if something in a horror film jumped out at me.
What scares me in a horror film is like when they put ghosts and spirits and stuff, because I believe in spirits and stuff, so it's something that's possible. I believe that it can happen, so it's more scary when you see things like that. And when they add children and stuff, it just gets me so scared because I've grown up with a lot of kids and it just makes me feel a bit uncomfortable around them.
What scares me in a horror film is jump scares. Like example, a person just randomly appearing up in a window.
What scares me in horror films is sort of like exorcisms and demons and stuff, because I'm one of those people who kind of believes in it, whereas like slasher films I can deal with gore, but the paranormal kind of activity stuff really gets to me.
I don't like the sound when it goes silent, because you know something's going to happen and it's going to get really, like you know something's coming and it's going to be really scary, so that's why I don't like that about horror movies.
I think the things that are most scariest in a horror film are when it's based on children, and because with children you kind of connotate that they're innocent or they're pure, and when things like the poltergeist or the exorcism happen, it's like it really affects children. And also if it's in a different country, I find that really scary.
My favourite horror film has to be The Ring, simply for the fact that I feel like it's an investigation more than a horror, so you get to actually find out like the people within the actual horror film and the storylines and anything beyond that, and then when it comes to the actual scary part, then it's like you're more affected deeply, like your soul's affected or something.
My favourite movie is The Conjuring because it's got loads of freaky aspects in it and it also incorporates religion, and I think it's actually got some sort of like decent storyline which most horror films don't really have.
My favourite horror movie is The Conjuring because I think it's really different from majority horror films, and it's something that is real, like it's quite different, and I think it's really interesting.
My favourite film is Sinister, as it plays on the possession of innocent children. The reason why it's my favourite film also is because with children, they usually have things like imaginary friends, and it basically Sinister plays on, you know, the fact that demons may be taking over and that they may class it as an imaginary friend.
My favourite horror film will have to be Sweeney Todd, even though it's not really, well, it's counted as a horror, but some people don't put it there. I really enjoy it because it's not distracting the element of horror. It still manages to have this amazing story and soundtrack, and all of it put together just creates an amazing film.
My favourite horror film is Mama. I feel like it's less scary than normal horror films. So it's like, because I don't really like horror films, so I like Mama because it's like thrilling instead of scary.
I think my favourite horror film has to be The Grudge and the different series of them, because I think the first thing is because it's really interesting, as it's in like Japan, I think, and it changes location, I think, each movie. And also the idea of it's really scary with something being at the attic, and it has a whole backstory behind it. And you actually get to see the grudge kind of follow the person it's haunting, and I think something like that's really scary for a horror movie.